this year. It's the first time these awards...
Previously on The Cut, the remaining 7 contestants had to design and conceptualize the Mzansi Star Award event. Odysseus strongly led his team right from the beginning. Beki tried to do the same, but quickly realized he had to up his game.
But now you find out, okay, your best is not good enough. So you need to put in 10 times more. So which means now, some more.
Both teams struggled with concepts and only by the morning of the second day knew which direction they were heading. Both teams tackled their trophies first, and whilst Odie's team made headway, Baker's team encountered problems with their original design.
It doesn't look like what we do, which is why I wanted to see how far have we deviated from the...
Odysseus' team confidently moved ahead, also conceptualizing their brand identity. On Becky's team, however, the emotions were running high.
Because, you didn't even ask about, okay, Lonabo, explain it to me, because you don't want to listen. And then when you don't want to listen, you still don't want to be at fault.
Now I have seen Horowena, you don't listen. And I have been telling you, Joe, kopa ore mamele.
In Style Council, Odysseus and his team were crowned the winners, whilst Becky's team were heavily criticized for the lack of a human element in their design. Ultimately, it was Becky who did not make the cut.
You really think you got it? Designer, another bonus shot, another race of cuts, another in a rut, another
one is... We are nearing the end. 6 of you left and 4 more tasks to go. All of you were born after 1970, which makes you the first generation of the new South Africa. You are pioneers, driven by the need to achieve and the need to succeed.
We the generation that's going to change everything.
New generation, I don't really look at things that way.
I don't really see us as the new generation because we're still quite ripe in so much shit.
Change is the only constant thing, so yeah, we are the future generation.
And that brings me to this week's task. We are standing at the International Marketing Council of South Africa, and your task is a marketing one. Each team needs to paint a mural that captures the future South Africa, what we can become if we all stay optimistic. You need to promote South Africa and the Alive with Possibility campaign. You have 18 hours to complete this task. George, Vus, you are this week's team leaders. George, because your team won at the last Style Council, you get to choose first.
The games are getting very interesting. This is the top 6. So there's a reason why we're in the top 6. It means that we're talented. No flipping down.
All right, Zoya.
The reason why I picked Larat is because I know her personally. Like she's quite objective and she's strong.
Lonabo has painting experience. I have she said, an abstract way, and she has a different way of approaching things. I chose her because of that clash. I wanted somebody who was going to balance the way I think art.
Michelle, she has a strong personality, so yeah. And Michelle's just a darling.
Odysseus, in a way, since he was sort of the leftover type person, he seems to be taking this extremely personally, and he was quite emotional about it. So his feelings on that are going to influence what he thinks about it, and what he thinks about it is going to be contributing to our overall thing. So
I will see you again at Style Council, where the winning team will be excused and one person from the losing team will not make the cut. Good luck.
The task that you guys are undertaking today is about a brand that is close to everyone's heart. It's about South Africa and what it stands for. And I'm sure you've seen some of the work that we've done around the slogan, South Africa Alive with Possibility. So if you think about the brand and where we come from and where we're going, we have a history where we've been able to inspire the world in the past by the political miracle that happened in 1994. So everything that you saw about South Africa was celebration about the possibilities that now exist for this country. Now, I'm sure you are all aware of the challenges that face this country, unemployment, crime, HIV, and all those things. Now we need to mobilize all South Africans to rally behind this brand and do the hard work that is required so that South Africa at the end of the day will inspire the world. There's a couple of videos that you can watch that try and give you the sense about this brand and what it stands for. And you guys are the brand, so expressing it, you shouldn't find it that hard.
We are blessed with a wealth of nature's gifts.
At first, before I came here, I kind of battled to be more African in my art and thinking more African. I was like, why? Why do we have to brand everything African? Those videos like helped me more. I was like, oh my God, I feel that, I sense that. So that was nice.
Too prone to look negatively or be pessimistic about a lot of things. And it was just another sort of angle, a sort of like a reminder that, yeah, we do live in a nice country. You know, besides the mess and sort of like grieving for your optimism. Like, where's the optimism?
And we embrace them with dignity and an enduring sense of hope. So come.
I would think the new generation, like little 7-year-olds, they're like the new generation because they're unawares of everything that's going on, and they're going to grow up unawares because, you know, we're going to smooth it over for them. My kids are going to be the new generation, and I will raise them to be that new generation to help, you know, this country go forward.
I'm not thinking, oh, I'm the new generation. Maybe I've got things to do.
It's because of the journey we have traveled and the distance we have come.
Seeing how emotional everyone was when we were watching the footage, you know, people crying and whatever, it kind of said something about how personal it is.
I want to hear today I woke up.
Today I woke up in a country where it is full of possibilities.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
South Africa, a country at the southern tip of Africa, inspires the world to a new way of doing things because our unique combinations create refreshing possibilities.
Today I woke up and I thought it was a beautiful day.
Our task as a team basically is to paint a picture of South Africa 2014, which, if I may point out, is post-World Cup. We need to reflect what is possible if we are all optimistic and continue to make individual contributions to make South Africa better.
This task is one of those patriotic things. How are we going to envision what we think about where our country should be in 10 years' time? It's personal on a patriotic level.
We're gonna have to like come up with a good concept because I want to win. I want to win for the first time in a group. I want to win.
I would like to work on racism still because I still feel that that is our biggest problem. You know, I feel that if we all unite and we're together and we don't look at racism anymore, then we can start dealing on issues like crime and AIDS. So it would be nice if I could try and convince them to work with that. I'd really like to have something that symbolizes that, like, f*** what color we are, like, we're still individuals. And I think it's nice to have 3 different minds who grew up in 3 different sort of worlds, you know. I think that's going to bring a nice element to it because we can bring a peace and go, well, you know, this is how I feel about the world, and this is how I feel, and this is how I feel. And I think that's going to make it stronger.
Appealing to the masses is a bit of a tricky one because the masses are consisting of individuals. A mass concept or whatever exists exists, it won't apply to everybody. So basically, it's a very simple brief, man. Just to portray what you want for South Africa, and that everybody would want. I mean, who wouldn't want there to be hope and, better things and greener pastures and less crime? Just basically, we're going to work from within, from us as South Africans and as individuals, how we want to see South Africa, and then take it from there.
3.5 meters that way.
So we're choosing our own side.
I guess so. We'll find out
a spot.
Yeah, a little partition.
Aska umsebenzi actually, aska conceptualize social conceptualizing. So bonuba ihamba njani na in a group, because there's last time and the first time benovusi benisithetha bezingayimanyelwa. So it's like when he chose me, I was thinking about, hey, kwenzeka ntoni, but mhlamba unika yena ke usinika ichance.
I'm already experiencing problems from the start. I just find him very, very dismissive of people's ideas, and also I don't think he takes me seriously enough.
To paint it white, but there's drying time of the white also.
It's gonna be watercolor. It's gonna be dry in 15 minutes. It's part of the process of this year. It's the rebirth. We are whitewashing our past.
I've never worked with him as a leader. I'm worried though about him being a leader. It's all about him at the end of the day, I think.
Odysseus Yena, I'm interested to see what he's going to provide, but I think he seems to be taking this extremely personally.
We have not gotten any sort of direction from him, and when we start putting forward ideas, those ideas are dismissed. So I just think that might just be a problem, hey?
At the moment, this wall is very busy. It's very, very busy, and it's going to be very difficult putting something without being distracted by all the other things.
I don't know what the plan is. I've not gotten any sort of plan of action from the person leading, so I'm just not sure what the plan of action myself is. In my head at the moment, I'm going through ideas of how the mural can work.
Give me that tape measure. I want to go and measure one panel and see how wide it is. Got a graphic designer and a graphic designer and a fashion designer.
The graphic designers and fashion designers don't go too painterly. So I would advise that you simplify, go graphic. It's on the corner of the graffiti wall. It's high peak traffic. People are irritated, they're pissed off, they don't want to be there. You need to have an impact and quick.
Although cars get stuck there quite a lot in traffic and stuff, they don't really see the wall until they arrive at the traffic lights.
What would make a good mural painting, basically?
Just find something that's very clear, succinct, and I think something that's quite clever. Like in your concept, you find you make a twist in the tail.
If you see a billboard, then you see the image, I'm like, oh, nice one. But when you get the copy with the clever lines, I'm like, oh.
Like the twist could be in the wording.
It's sometimes I hate wanting to work with her, but then I sometimes think it's going to be nice working with her because then I can actually get to know her more. But I'm actually really scared of working in this team. So 2's company, 3's a crowd. I kind of feel that it's like Jordan Lorato, and I'm kind of like going, hey guys, can you see me? So I'm having a little bit of a problem with that. So I'm just gonna go into my little world and do my little thing and then bring it up with them, just bring it up on them, all my concepts, and then they'll just have to listen to me. If not, screw them. I want to be heard. I want people to know that I am capable of doing good shit.
We're over that stage of getting excited of the brief. I think now you just wanna execute it and move to the next level. The reason why we're all here is because we wanna win. That's something that I really hate, or I really dislike when somebody says, I don't wanna be here, I wanna go home. Because if you wanna go home, why don't you then?
We have ideas, the concept will eventually surface after a while.
Plan of action for tomorrow, paint. Thank you so much. Don't forget the whip.
Firstly, don't do what America's already done.
keep it here. This is such a cool image, and it's not trying to be second-rate or be something else.
Okay.
Yesterday, when we started conceptualizing it, Lunama came up with an idea which I really liked, and I came up with some ideas also that we really liked, and we fused those two together. And Vuz didn't come up with an idea.
And then because he kept on telling us, no, the idea is too much and whatever. Now we thought, okay, you know what, we're gonna go sleep because it's 12 o'clock, we already have an idea, but every time we work on it, he's always telling us, it's not working.
And it's just like, he's not saying anything to me, he's not saying anything to Lonwabo. We had drawn it out, and all of a sudden, it's like, okay, no, it won't work. Next thing in the morning, this is the idea that we're doing, and it's his idea. He just takes people's ideas and takes glory for them. So pretty much, Pravus has the final say in everything.
This is Lonwabo's idea. And Odysseus supported her, so I don't know which one I didn't listen to, because these were the ideas that they came across with.
Lonwabo and I are being raped for ideas, basically.
We came up with the concept of language. We thought about what is not possible today that could be possible in the future, that could make this country a better country. If we could have one South African language, I think our kids are going to be like. They're not going to say, you darker or you lighter. They're going to say, hey, I'm a South African.
Within the speech bubble, with the other speech bubbles, it's going to be different colors and stuff. This is to symbolize that although we are making it one language, we still recognize that people are different. So communication, it can solve a lot of other social issues.
You're quite dyslexic when it comes to drawing.
Yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean? I can draw, but I'm used to drawing with computers and stuff.
No, you can't draw.
Okay, I can't draw.
I think people actually are quite snobbish when it comes to art, and they want to see that you had some effort and some kind of skill in executing it. I can draw that in like 5 minutes, guys. I don't need a stencil. Really.
No, we mean in terms of the
stencil style.
Oh, like a computer look, or
the stencils cutouts.
Like this sort of style.
Okay.
The whole thing. It took us a while to agree on the concept, but we finally did.
We started off with the AIDS ribbon unraveling and actually turning into a tie and then into a heart. But we had to cut out the heart part of it, and then also came to just the ribbon.
The ribbon translates into a tie which represents employment, like formal employment, which means a better life for everyone.
This is an idea, just a playful idea of having our own Superman South Africa, but with the flag at the back. But we cut that out.
What we're saying about that AIDS ribbon is that, yes, it may be a problem here, but you know what? There is a solution coming somehow, somewhere. That's why we've chosen the symbol of a child in the middle. And everything that we do now, we aspire to actually create a better world for them.
The concept basically is, in 2014, we're thinking about people are going to be more active in actually the young people are going to be more active in tackling the problems that we have, that we're going to have. They're still going to be people with AIDS, but they're going to be living positively. They're still going to be people with AIDS, but we're going to be tackling the problem with AIDS. We're not going to, sit there and complain. So that's why that ribbon unravels and it goes into, a dynamic movement. But okay, we know we've got a problem, but we are more active in doing it. And then it also goes into employment, that we also when it goes into the tie, we're also showing people also want to get up and start doing stuff and start wanting to work for themselves and actually making money out of it.
One of us draws the main bubble, just gets that right, and then the rest of it, one of us can draw the speech bubbles inside.
Yeah, where's the letter?
I'll get the picture. I'm going to do the rough bubble, and you can tell me left, right, whatever. Okay.
The message our mural is giving out at the moment is communication, trying to say that there's these 11 languages that are all separate, and to try and make this basically South Africa one like whole country, that there's not this obvious separation, which includes language, because it does separate us, and sort of like let's try and have one universal language that we speak to each other in South Africa.
Creating a whole entire language with 11 official languages is way impossible at the moment. But in the future it is. It's like a lot of things that people said it was impossible. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fly, it's impossible to fly. But if people work hard enough and together, you can make that happen.
Alive with possibilities. And is there a possibility that, you know, we could have that one language, whatever the language may be? Is there a possibility that we could finally just communicate with each other with one language and not have this barrier of this person speaks this and this person is this?
I want my kids to look at the white person as they look at them as like Michelle, not like you white and you not part of me. The youth, basically, they run the country, whether you like it or not. They're gonna change everything that we've worked for. They're gonna take it to the next level. They're gonna come up with the cure for AIDS. They're gonna revolutionize the country.
Communication is everything. It's communication, full stop.
It's also bordering on the line of like the impossibility versus possibility. To symbolize how South Africa is full of, is alive with possibility. You know, like even that, although impossible at the present, it could be reached. But either way, it's the connotations that matter. We wanted there to be interpretation, and the interpretation, although you can look at them in different angles, they lead to one point, which is unity and oneness, which is what we wish for South Africa.
Confident about our concept, because I like our concept, but I'm not confident obviously about the overall painting, because I still think it looks like a creche. But I think like if you're going to get mural painters in, then you are going to be influenced to just paint. I'm just like a bit upset because I had envisioned it completely different. I really, really wanted like a street art vibe, and so it would have been nice to have done that. Something more modern. If I up, it's like I'll get all flack from every boy I know. I'll lose all my guy friends in Cape Town. It's quite a simple little idea anyway, so we can get it done and then there can be saving done. So we'll see. But I think the whole prospect of it being street arty is basically because we're painting.
Slowly, I think they're perfectionists, and I think they really want to do it step by step and do a thorough effect. But they're going to get there eventually, and I think by tomorrow they'll start seeing the finishing product. So it's been slow going, and it's been very frustrating. I've been wanting to finish it in one day, but they're just putting the brakes on. They're doing it in their own pace, and that's fine.
Well, ndiyavuya uba at least ikude kwa kwa ndamanyelo kanye ndachoose idea yam and also ndivuyela uba uvusizo leyo afika wasixelela uba okay berongo apologize ukuthi.
The problem that I had with it was that the message wasn't clear. I kept saying we need a clearer message, we need to be more focused, we need something that people can get instantly.
Ndiyambulela uvusi uba ekwazuza because even kwi-task ezidluleyo whereas bendithethe into abantu bathi hayi irongo ne and then kufunyaniswe bahlamba kujaji bathi why didn't we do this, no, like bengabekho mntu oza kum athi no I was wrong okanye you were right and kwathi no I apologize.
Visually it works. It's just that on a message level we just needed to tweak it just to make it that much clearer.
Our leader said, guys, well done, I was wrong, and that was enough to make the difference for me. And whatever happens at Style Council, at least he acknowledges that, it looks good. And he's starting to feel it as much as we felt yesterday. Like, our concept is hope. So I feel very, very strongly about it because that's what you need. In order for you to get anywhere, in order for you to wake up every single morning, in order for you to do anything, you need to have a hope.
There were problems in that I had the problem with the concept. For me, we were trying to say too much in too small a space. And I think I was looking more at it from like a billboard type of way, in that, you know, it's a quick thing. You need to, you know, we can't spend too much time on the sentiments, or, you know, is it emotional, is it this, is it that. I sort of took it as, if two of them are saying that, obviously I can't go and do this thing by myself. Me, I'm not into arguments that start from beginning of the brief to the end of the task. I don't do that. There's a certain point me where I just conceptualize, and you can argue as much as you want. Execution, for me, there's no, you know. So, and I realized that we were running out of time, and I couldn't keep arguing about it. And I thought, if they agree on it, maybe there's something that they're seeing that I'm not seeing.
My hope for this country, I wish that things would be spread out evenly across the board, and I wish that people would actually get off their lazy asses and start working for themselves, because no one's going to do it for you. But I wish that people would actually grow a culture of working hard and achieving hard, and not be ridiculed for actually becoming achievers in life.
There's no other way.
Bane problems bane problems as outside, which singabanye as experience, and I think most of us here understand uba besizele ntoni apha ne, and understand uba because of problems, because it's like real life, but how you get, you know, over those problems.
I appreciate the people I have met, the things I have done, the opportunity that I was given. I appreciate that. But if I am not happy with what I am doing right now, I cannot go on and compromise myself just so that I can be on TV, just so that I can get a job, just so that I can do that. I am not happy with it.
It had been a long time coming. She'd spoken about it quite. She didn't want to be here, she didn't want to go, she didn't want to be here, she didn't want to go. And I don't know. If she wanted to leave, it's her choice.
No, I'm not leaving because of that. I'm leaving because I want to go.
If she doesn't want to be here, then she should have never been here. You know, in the first place, don't come here and like upset people.
I have no comments on that. I've wanted to leave from the beginning. I have wanted to leave. I have no comments with that as well. So it's nothing, it's not that I don't want it. I really want it, and please respect it, and please accept it. And I'm sure you want your woman back. I got to resign. I just took a decision. If
you got problems, then go and see somebody about your problems.
They're gonna come with the cameras, you know.
No, but it's not even an issue about that. It's like,
she's quite moody. 1 minute she'll be quite nice, the next minute she's the next thing, and then the next thing she's saying things in a very abrupt way, or a very like harsh way.
I don't need to,
and I won't.
And she makes it look like it's a joke. It's not really a joke, and like people are supposed to take that, and you're not even supposed to defend yourself. And when you defend yourself, she becomes very like aggressive. So I don't know how she's managed to get this far.
You cannot make me say things I don't want to.
You said that you're making this decision, yes, but yeah, also understand that you have to make. If it makes you happy, then it's fine with us. If it makes you happy, then it's fine with us. You know, we'll support you all the way.
It was ridiculous and very unprofessional.
I am not giving you anything.
I think it's a very bad attitude.
Emotionally, I am unavailable. What I feel are my feelings.
We're
losing manpower and stuff, you know what I mean? And we have to finish this. Now it's me and Michelle.
We're losing anyway, and she's going, so it's fine, because she's organized.
She needs a little bit of time to grow and a little bit of time to think.
I don't have any f***ing answers for you.
She's got the potential of being very self-destructive.
Do not provoke me.
It's not going to get her very far in life.
I do what I do, and I do it around my ideals.
I have not seen any creativity being displayed at all.
Okay. I'll be eliminated. If I stay, I'm okay. If I leave, I'm okay.
She said she wanted to go, and she left.
We had to understand where she's coming from. It wasn't about us. So I'm like, hey, What about the team? It was all about her at that time. So I'm like, okay.
I don't think it's affected the team because she's still helping. Okay, she's disappeared now because she's talking to the producers, but she still put her all in from the beginnings.
Then it means it leaves Michelle, Lonwabo, Vusi, George, and myself in the top 5. You've got a very good selection of people there.
But I'm coming right now.
Wow, guys, your murals look awesome. Are they finished? Well, I know Style Council will have a very difficult time deciding who wins this task. Tonight, the winning team will be treated to a night out of dancing at a fabulous place called The Venue at Mel Resort, and the theme is black and white. So keep that in mind when you come to Style Council. And I can't wait to party with the winning team. I'll see you at Style Council.
Oh. Dancing!
Thank you for celebrating.
Michelle just painted the face and like, yo. Never, ever do it with Odysseus.
Hates on Odysseus' face.
It's like, don't put paint in my face.
You don't see me going around with like a paintbrush on people's faces. And like, so I don't really appreciate when people put that. I don't play games on people that I don't want them played on me. So really, like on my face, really.
You know how I am with my face, like.
My hands are fine, I can wash it off, but my face. It's like, really, you just don't do that.
It's tears in my eyes.
And I break out in pimples. I don't want to like break out in pimples now. It's the last thing I need. Do unto others as you have done unto you. That's my philosophy. Taught in grade 1, class 1 when I was born, my mom used to say. So I don't do to others what I wouldn't have not have done to them. I live by that philosophy. Can I go? Bye.
Hola. The concept. We were given a task to sort of paint a picture of what South Africa is going to be like in 2014. So we took on the theme of Imagine 2014. Imagine if we overcome our difficulties. Imagine that the difficulties we have now, we can actually turn them into positive things. Here we have what looks like is the AIDS ribbon. And what we thought was like, let's look at, as a direction, let's look at the problems that we have now. And let's look at, how about we solve them by 2014? You know? How about, what if we didn't have these problems by then? What if they actually turned into positive things, right? So we have that AIDS ribbon there, which is sort of unraveling, you know, into like this, a free-flowing movement, so to say, to sort of signify the time that is passing. This guy, who for us sort of represents like the hope for the future, you know, the child who actually grabbing hold of the difficulties that we have, you know, grabbing hold of them with pride and knowing that we're going to do something about it. And it goes on to this side, and it turns sort of into this character with the tie, to show that, you know, from our adversities we can actually, you know, education, business, commerce, things like that, that we can actually take our negative things that we have at the moment and turn them into a positive thing.
South Africa, which is our country, we have 11 official languages. You can ask yourself, so which language between those is the most South African? I say all of them. But what if we create a South African language within all of those languages? I know at the moment it's very impossible to think about fusing all the languages to come up with one language at the end. But from my perspective, it's not. There's a big speech bubble which represents us as a nation. And there's like, within that speech bubble, there's other speech bubbles. And if you can count, there's 12 speech bubbles, which represents the 11 official languages. This one, which is white, the speech bubbles, it represents the sign language, which is the silent language. That's the reason why we put it into our concept. So you can check that this chick, she represents the future, you know? Because when I have kids, I don't want them to look at the next black person as Zulu or Tswana or whatever. I want them to look at them as like, oh, that's Tabo, oh, that's Michelle. Then we hold tagging in a line, because basically first, we're representing 11 official languages, which is what we have at the moment, which is the present. But if we combine all those languages and come up with another new language for South Africa, that'd be amazing. That's why we say 2014, creating unity with, then we scratch out the one, then it leaves us with one official language.
And welcome to another Style Council. George, your team was a bit down today, but you guys seemed to pick up by the end of today. What happened?
It began very challenging, but at the end of the day, we just had fun. Just enjoyed what we did, and came together at the end of the day.
Cool. Vos, nobody in your team is a painter, but you guys ended up putting on quite a good job up on that wall. How did that happen?
We were willing to learn. Everybody was open to learning new things, and we just gave it our best.
Well, as always, deciding your fate tonight is the Style Council, consisting of 3 permanent members: graphic designer Nathan Reddy, creative strategist Philippe Mazibuko, fashion designer Palesa Mokobong, and every week on Style Council, we have a guest expert. And this week, our guest expert is Maputi Rankapule. She is the domestic marketing manager for the International Marketing Council for South Africa. A reminder on this week's task. Each team had to paint a mural reflecting the future South Africa, the possibility of what South Africa can become if we all stay optimistic. Maputi, what did you think about George's team and their efforts?
I thought they did a very good job. What I was looking for Brand South Africa of the future is a mural that is optimistic, a mural that shows what is possible as per what was on the brief. And what I thought was the use of the bubble with the different cultures, with the different colors that were representing the different languages was very creative, because a bubble has a lot of energy, and if that bursts, the opportunities are endless. I also like the way they use the flag, because you have 2 parts that are converging into one. So there was a bit of fusion among South Africans, things that needed to combine in order to create one thing that South Africa stands for in 2014.
I've always felt the problem with South Africa was, failing to unite when it came to solutions of the problems we had. And what I liked about this concept is that the problem has always been listening to each other, but with that solution we can actually start hearing each other. I like that.
The most important thing was for me the sign language, and for me because that's specifically like the language of the future. Because with that, it's you're completely speechless at all you're doing. And for me, it was very strong. And the element was the sign language thing that captured my mind within 50 seconds of seeing it. It was very well executed.
I wasn't particularly very impressed with you. I like the fact that you did have an idea. What I'd want to ask but is the 12th language. Is it a metaphoric language in terms of how people come together as a common vision, common value system, or is it physically a 12th language?
Basically, communication, saying, that we should all be able to communicate in one language, be able to understand each other, hear each other, listen to each other, because that is the biggest problem that we felt in this country.
Well, I get that, and I think that's very good. But my interpretation, when George gave his interpretation, I didn't get that feeling. I got the feeling that we're going to create another Tutsi Tau.
No, it was just an example.
And another thing, if I can add, it's basically taking all the languages with all its diversities and extracting one. And it's not necessarily a language per se, as you say, a metaphoric one, a language of love, a language of peace, a language of just where we can all understand each other on one plane.
Maputi, now it's time to turn our focus onto Vusa's team and their efforts. What did you think?
Okay, on Vusa's team, what I thought was a lot of thought went into what they put together. They thought about what South Africa is today all the way through to the economic miracle in terms of the achievements of the country. So they painted a picture of a South Africa that we all want to be part of as a successful nation, and I think that did that very well.
I was a little bit disappointed, I have to be honest with you. Alive with possibilities, okay? Your interpretation was very good, okay? But nobody's walking past there and listen to your interpretation. My immediate reaction to it there was doom and gloom, okay? I looked at people asking, please help me, there's a fire in the background. That's how people interpret that there. So my immediate reaction was that there.
People always think that the struggle in this country is over, and it's not. We still have like bigger things to fight. We're not fighting amongst ourselves, but we've got bigger things to fight. What the AIDS issue is a big problem that we need to fight. We need to create some positivity out of it. And that's why if you look at the fresco, like there is light behind the person, and there is a certain light coming through.
So I really enjoyed Vusa's interpretation, but not everyone's going to get Vusa's interpretation, because when you see it, because you've got a split second to see it and move along, okay? And when I saw it immediately, I get the feeling, 2014, alive with possibilities. We just came across that we're still stuck in the years behind us, and we're still fighting this darkness. So I didn't get the feeling there was any optimism.
To sort of explain the visuals, in that the first thing that we went for, we wanted something that could grab attention. We wanted something that you could actually look at for a while.
40 seconds at that mural. But that doesn't grab because there's so many images
That's the reason why we actually put Imagine 2014 there.
I think your technique was very good. The boldness was very good, okay? But the interpretation, okay, to me fell flat.
I think the painting was quite detailed for non-painters. I think, it showed a lot of endurance, which is what, the whole task was about. So that was cool for me. But otherwise, the flying ribbon looked like we were taking the AIDS campaign with us to 2014.
The interpretation of that AIDS thing is because I personally felt that in 2014 we're still going to be facing AIDS, but the difference is that people are not going to be always talking about it and always like saying, okay, we don't want, it's going to be their reality, like is 2014 we're still going to have AIDS, and there's still going to be people who have AIDS and are still living positively with AIDS, and then moving forward.
Sure, we'll probably be on top of it, not it above us.
Hence the transformation from one side to the other, where it becomes into something positive.
That's what I got from the 5 seconds that I passed it. That's what I got.
Thank you very much, Style Council. It's about that time now for us to find out who the winning team is.
Okay, we felt the reasons why the winning team won was because of the medium that we're using for this. It's a mural. It's people driving past. It's people walking past. So it's very important that you see it and you get it and you move on. So based on that, we felt that the team that won this task was George's team. Well done. And that was the decision.
Congratulations, George, to you and your team. Enjoy the prize later tonight, which is an awesome party, but you are not excused from Style Council yet.
Because we're down to our last 5 this week, we took a decision. We had to look at who are our strongest 5 people here. Okay, from all the tasks that you guys have done last week, the week before. The creative industry really is about professionalism, okay? And it is about working as a team. It's also not about being a self-expression person where you go as a beat and you sell your paintings. You're living in the public domain. Okay, so we took a decision on those principles, and therefore we're going to eliminate one of you from that kind of thought.
Thank you very much, Style Council. Odysseus, you are safe. Lonwabo, you are safe. Vos, you too are safe. Lerato,
we've gathered some information on the fact that a lot of the work was done in the last minute because you weren't actually there.
I'm not even going to stand here and defend that because a producer took me to go talk.
Why did he remove you from the task? You don't know.
Information has come through that you were indicating that you wanted to leave.
Why can't you tell us the truth then? Why do you have to take it
it's not about the truth. It's not about the truth. You
asked me. We tried asking you decently now, and you just said no.
But
you
can't
comment. You're not going to say anything
and defend yourself.
No. Wait. Okay.
You asked you very politely about the whole issue.
Okay. No. You asked me politely, but you didn't ask me directly. So you asked me
directly.
No, but firstly, wait. Firstly, you asked me that the work was done because I wasn't there, right? That's what you asked me. I answered that I was with the producer. Now, where does the lie come in?
No, I think the question was, you never tell us why he removed you.
I wanted to have a discussion with you.
Did you want to have a discussion with him, or he wanted to have a discussion with you?
He said, could we have a discussion? And I said, okay.
So Can you tell us what the discussion was about, Lerato, then?
It was about me leaving.
Leaving
the show.
Why? Because you wanted to leave?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a personal issue.
Do you still want to leave?
No.
Lerato, you did not make the cut. Please leave Style Council immediately. Congratulations, guys. You have made it to the top 5. The grand prize is within your reach. Now it's time to step up your game and show us what you've got. I'll see you next at the next briefing.
To me, it's not an eviction. It's a time to leave. I felt I needed to leave. I felt it within me. It was probably instinct, and I followed it, and I got eliminated, and I'm happy. Even when the judges were sitting up there, they were angry at me. Where they get the right to be angry at me, I don't understand. Even though they may eliminate people for whatever reason they found they needed to eliminate them, it doesn't break them. I want to thank them personally for teaching me as well in a big way to stand up for myself. If me being a strong individual makes me rude, then I am rude. If being a non-conformist makes me rude, then I am rude. And I will wear my rude label proudly. You guys are judges and fight to be honorable. Our system and society is so warped that if you are below me and you talk to me in the same tone as I will as your boss, I'm disruptive. I wasn't quite made for the cut. Because you can only be rude and disruptive after you make it.
Next on The Cut, our 5 remaining contestants move from in front of the camera to behind in an attempt to make a TV commercial. As always, they encounter their fair share of problems.
It's just too much for me to handle because I've been working the whole day.
I couldn't sleep last night here, on this couch, people around.
Michelle and Odysseus are the drama queens in this.
Nice. Yeah.
There it is.
As South Africa's hottest young designer, the winner of The Cut will win a 1-year contract to work for leading lifestyle and fashion retailer Woolworths. A preloaded Woolworths card with which to shop for the latest fashions and designer food. And to get around in style, the winner of The Cut will receive a car for a year, courtesy of Woolworths.
You think you're gonna cut it? Give up when you get spun on the